We are now live.
All righty. I believe we have quorum. All right, so it is 10:30. I will call our public planning meeting to order here this morning on September 25th of 2026. So I have a script here to read. This is a public meeting concerning proposed zoning bylaw amendments pursuant to Section 34 of the Planning Act. We have one file here this morning for us to consider. It is C-126, Elvin Martin and Judith Martin. Any person or public body is entitled to attend the public meeting and make written or oral submissions in support of or in opposition to any of the proposed zoning bylaw amendments. Written comments should be submitted to the clerk, Lindsay Green. Please be aware that planning reports will be presented to council when the applicable bylaw is presented for consideration at a council meeting. No person or public body shall be added as a party to the hearing of the appeal unless, before the bylaw was passed, the person or public body made oral submissions at a public meeting or written submissions to the council, or, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to add the person or public body as a party. Anyone wishing to file a notice of appeal is encouraged to seek legal advice on your appeal rights given recent changes to the Planning Act because of Bill 185. So the first, and as I indicated, the only file to consider this morning is file number C1-26, Elvin and Judith Martin. The purpose of the application is to permit an existing home industry on part of the property to continue as an ag-related use involving the supply of animal feed. Minerals, vitamins, and flavoring are shipped in, stored in bins and containers on site, mixed within an existing building, and shipped to farms or picked up by customers. The effect would be to allow the ag-related use to remain operating as an expanded home industry on site along with the existing agricultural use of the lands. The location of the subject lands, the civic address is 243716 Southgate Road 24. Legal description is Concession 19, Part Lot 6, Lot 7, Geographic Township of Egremont in the Township of Southgate. May I please have confirmation from the clerk that proper notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act?
Thank you, Mayor Milne. I can confirm that proper notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act. A sign was posted and notice was mailed to abutting properties.
Most excellent. Thank you, Holly. I'll now ask our planner to review correspondence received from commenting agencies and review any written comments received by members of the public. Victoria, please, welcome.
Thank you very much. Okay. And yeah, again, this file is to permit an existing home industry. They'd like to continue as an agricultural related use involving the supply of animal feed. Some comments that were received include Enbridge Gas, who stated they have no objections. Township Public Works also stated that safe access can be provided and a commercial entrance will be required as well. County planning staff acknowledged that there's no size requirements for agricultural related uses within the county official plan. And the use would be able to meet the size requirements for an OFDU if they were to approach it that way, as the proposal is considered to be an agricultural related use and meets the intent of an agricultural related use, MDS would not apply. And county planning ecology staff have no concerns as well. Saugus Valley Conservation Authority staff also indicated that the property is not in their SVCA regulated area and therefore a permit will not be required. And also a public comment was received from a neighbor abutting the subject lands and stated that they have no objections related to the proposed application. And that's all the comments received.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. Any questions or discussion from council at this time? There'll be another opportunity later. Okay, we're good for now. I'll now ask if the applicant or agent is present. Please identify yourself by stating your name for the record, and would you like to make any representation on your application? And I see Mr. Davidson has joined us. Welcome, Ron. Good to see you again.
Thank you, sir. Members of council. So my name is Ron Davidson. I am a planner and I'm representing Elvin Martin today. He's the owner of the property. I filed the application for rezoning on behalf of Elvin recently. I shall be very brief. Elgin is listening. He doesn't have a computer, but he does have a phone. And if there's questions that come up that I cannot answer, he will attempt to do that himself. I did write a planning justification report in support of the proposal, and I'm not going to go into any detail whatsoever about what my report has to say, but I'd like to say just a couple of very quick things. So Elvin's been operating this business for about 10 years. He truly believed it was permitted by the zoning bylaw under the category of home industry. But he learned recently that his 107 square meter building exceeds the 100 square meter maximum floor area limit under the home industry. So he's just a bit over it. So therefore, as soon as you're over it, you need to amend the zoning bylaw, and you need to fall into a category of either on-farm diversified use or agriculture-related use. And this one is the latter. It's an agricultural-related use. And you heard, actually, Mr. Mayor, you yourself explained what the use was, so I won't get into that. It's just Elvin and his immediate family that run the business, and one other employee. He has no plans to expand. Just the last thing I'll say is when I'm as a planner, when I'm looking at a use like this or any agriculture related use or on-farm diversified use, you want to make sure that it's not going to impact the neighbors. And specifically, impact comes down to noise quite often. So just quickly regarding the noise, the actual mixing of the ingredients occurs inside the building. That's where the mixer is. And it's operated by an electric motor, which obviously is quite quiet. There is a forklift that's used in the day-to-day operations, and it does have a backing up alarm that emits a beeping noise. And if this is of interest or of concern to anybody being a neighbor about the beeping, you can swap that beeper out. I think everybody's aware of that now, that there's such things as one of the brand names, I believe, is a growler, whereas the name would imply it's more of a growling that you hear, or other types of similar products, and you don't hear that annoying beep, beep, beep sound. If that's a concern, Mr. Martin is willing to swap that out. Regarding other noise, most of the material is not brought to the site by a tanker truck, but it does happen from time to time. And when it does, there's a blower that's used to take the product from the truck into one of the holding bins. But that blower, that's all occurring on the south side of the building, and the buildings themselves should buffer the noise between that blower and the neighbors' homes to the north. So hopefully they're not hearing anything. And just lastly, I should point out that Mr. Martin and his family actually live on the property, and therefore it's really in his own best interest to mitigate any and all potential noise issues to the greatest extent possible. Again, don't know if that's an issue, but as a planner, that's always the one thing that jumps out at me. That's it for my presentation. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to make a submission in support of this application? Not hearing any. I'll ask, is there anyone present who would like to make a submission in opposition to this application? And I will note that, please note that you would be required to state your full name and address for the record, and your comments will be included in the minutes and will form part of the township records. I understand that there is one gentleman that would wish to make representation. If you are online, please make yourself known and proceed. Okay. Not seeing anyone or hearing anyone. We'll proceed on any further questions or discussion from council? Monica, please.
Thank you. Just through you, Chair. Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Ron, for your presentation. So just through you, Chair, to staff, just a question with regards to the truck capacity in terms of when we're looking at what the township bylaws and limits are, and also would there be an understanding that this would be long-term compatible going in the future?
I
Yeah,
can
go ahead. Yep,
take a
go ahead.
stab at that one. Thank you.
Please.
If you're, I guess, Councillor Singh Soares, if you're concerned about maybe stress on the roadway.
Yes, like
Okay.
traffic volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that case, that's something that Township Public Works, they assess that if it's a load restricted road and if there's any upgrades requirements. So from their comments, they just provided that a commercial entrance would be required, which is typical for these agricultural related uses or OFDUs. But if that's something maybe that could be expanded further in staff's report, we can look into that. Or if Ron has further clarification on the amount of trucks that come in and out of the site, maybe that would be helpful.
Yes, just to that point, that would be, I think, something of interest and important just to have it memorialized in the research.
Ron?
And if that question is, I can try to answer that. I'm just looking at my notes here in from my report. The business averages 4 to 5 trucks per week, so that's obviously one per working day. They come for the most part straight over from Highway 6, so across Southgate Road 2024. And like I said, for what it's worth, nothing is proposed to change. Mr. Martin is not proposing to expand his operation by hiring more employees or taking on more work. So what has ever been happening over the last 10 years will continue to happen, be that good or bad, and hopefully it's good.
Thank you. You answered my next question. So that was my next one about the line of sight in terms of the growth of business. So thank you for answering that too. That was perfect.
My pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Martin, I see your hands up, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I guess Ron, sorry, but I apologize for that, Ron. You answered one of my questions and just did answer it. There's no room for expansion. So I was quite, for a person to come up and realize he's been doing something not exactly and wanting to be compliant, I think that's a very honorable thing to willingly to do. And it's basically just housekeeping because I just said it's been here for 10 years. With on page 17 of the agenda, it has the subject to rezoning. Looking at it, it's a pretty tight cluster. He wouldn't be able to expand even if he wanted after he brought it in compliance, would he? Like he's only at the limit of the footprint anyway, with everything being said and done.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll keep this short. That's a good question. So as you're probably well aware, there's two things. An on-farm diversified use is something that's a little bit beyond what agriculture related use is. So yes, the provincial planning statement and our own official plan requires us to place a limitation on it. However, your official plan does not require you to place limitations on the size of the operation if it's an agriculture related use. But good planning suggests you do that anyway, because it makes for good neighbors. If I'm across the road or down the street, I've been there for 10 years. I don't have an issue with this, but I don't want his whole 100-acre property zoned for this type of use. So that's why we are volunteering to put call it a spot zoning if you want, a very specific area. It doesn't leave a whole lot of room for an expansion, no.
Thank you very much.
There's just one other thing.
Please.
And I always bring this up. So I helped write your official plan a couple of years ago. I think my name's on the front page, and I'm sorry if it's a bad official plan. I think it's a good one. But the intent of council was to not require people like Mr. Martin to have to rezone their property for this. If you read the official plan, it specifically states something to the effect, hey, listen, when we update our zoning bylaw next, we will word it in such a manner that this type of use is permitted as of right, and therefore council won't have to deal with, what are you dealing with, these 2 or 3 a month? I think that's what you were dealing with a couple of years ago. I think when we wrote the official plan, Clint Stredwick, your former planner, had processed 29 applications of this nature in 1 year. So I meant to say that at the onset, that this zoning really isn't required or won't be required if you once you update your zoning bylaw. And it's my understanding that you are in the process of updating your zoning bylaw. So I probably won't need to mention this again. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. And I would just say in response, we'll update any day now. Barb, I see your hands up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and hello, everyone. Thanks, Ron. Always a detailed report and very thorough. Yes, was there when we updated the official plan. When we update the zoning bylaw, it still has to be approved. So we don't know where that's going to go yet. But my question with regard to this applicant is, I find it admirable that they're going to limit the scope and expansion ability out of fairness to their neighbors. I do have a question with regard to outside storage. It says that there is not required, but yet there's already storage bins and storage containers. And I'm wondering, I'm going to assume that those are associated either with the farming operation, or I would suspect with regard to this mineral mixing shop, since the finished product goes out in totes. If you could answer that one, and then I do have another question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, I should have mentioned that. So and there's nothing hidden here because it is clearly stated in my own planning report. You'll see if you have the site plan in front of you, I've identified 2 storage bins on the west side of the mineral mixing shop. Those are your typical grain bins or storage bins that are used for the product when it comes in. And then the shipping containers are used primarily, I believe, and to stack the finished product in there on pallets or skids. And so there's a forklift used to take the product in and out of the storage containers. So yes, there will be the bins and the storage containers, but there's actually no outdoor storage, if you will. I mean, you couldn't leave the product outside. It would, I guess, get wet and damage it. So it's all indoors, even though it's not just inside that one shop.
Thank you. And I note then that this is more involved than just a minor variance on 7 square meters, that this is, more than just a 107 square meter structure. I note that there are 4 sheds on the property, and I wonder, are those part of the mineral mixing operation as well? And why wouldn't they be included in the footprint? I mean, there's like, how many sheds are required and what are their uses currently? Will or could they be converted to future operation?
So the answer is a very firm no. They are not used for that. They are used for agricultural operations, for storage of probably hay and other stuff like that, and farm implements. I know that I had that discussion directly with Elvin. They are not used in any way as part of this operation. However, if you need to know specifically, if you care to, you can, Victoria, if you can allow Mr. Martin to be patched through, and he can explain exactly what those sheds are used for. But the answer again is no, it's not part of this operation, and no, it's not intended to be part of the operation ever.
Okay, that's awesome. It's just asking the question out loud so that we have it available for anyone who might be questioning that. I suspected that it might be related to the farm operation. And I do have another question. Are there 2 houses on the property? The site plan shows 2 houses, or are they joined? Do they comply with ARUs? What, if you could elaborate on, are they meeting? And sometimes you ask for one thing and it just raises questions. I guess one of the questions is how did we find out that it was 7 square meters over what was allowed?
Yeah. Okay, so with regard to the house, yes, that your eyes are reading that properly. There are 2 houses. I'll let Victoria confirm that that's permitted, but it's my understanding that is. What happened was the proposal was a few years ago for Mr. Martin to build a new house, and he did, and that's the larger house, the south side. And and then there's no requirement for him to remove the existing house, or I'm sorry, the first house, even though he had intentions originally of doing that. But I believe it's being used by a family member, and it didn't make any sense to knock it down. And in this, or at least not yet, in this day and age of zoning bylaws across Ontario allowing for two houses on one property. And again, I'm assuming that's the case in Southgate, but I'll get your staff to confirm that. It would, yes, it should conform to, I'm assuming it does conform to your zoning bylaw, and that's why there's no need for that second house to be removed until such time as Mr. Martin decides he doesn't want it any longer.
Through you, it did go through the building department and was reviewed for compliance to the building code and the zoning bylaw.
Thank you. So it's not an ARU, their two houses are permitted on an agricultural farm as long as it can't be severed. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Jason, I can't see it. Wait a minute. Yes, I can see everybody. Jason, did you have your hand up? You wanted to ask a question or no? Oh, there we are. Thank you, Holly. Go ahead, Jason. You're muted, sir.
Yeah, I think
there you go.
I think my thing's frozen. No, it's just more of a comment, kind of piggyback off Martin. You know, it's an ag business. We want to support our ag businesses. We're an ag community, and he's doing everything right. He realized he was a little over, so I think we should be in support of it.
Yep. Thank you, Jason. I see Mr. McCully has joined us online there now. Mr. Cully, did you wish to speak to this proposal? You're muted, sir, or at least I can't hear you. I don't know if anyone else can. Oh, you're still muted.
Holly, are you able to unmute him through our system? No?
Sorry if I may, Miss Mayor Milne. I did send a request for Mr. McCully to unmute, but he has to do it on his end, unfortunately.
Okay. So I'll just give Mr. McCully an opportunity to unmute. No.
He can also hold down the space bar and allow him to talk if he can't find the button.
I can't hear you, Mr. McCully. Nope.
His speaker may also be off on his computer as opposed to the Zoom. You've unmuted, Mr. McCully has unmuted the Zoom call, but perhaps his speaker has been turned off.
Your worship, if he presses the up arrow by the audio button, then the options to pick a microphone and should be there. I'm not sure what his settings would be, but that would be where he can change the default settings for his microphone.
Well, it's going to take a pay grade higher than mine to figure it out because I'm not, it either works or doesn't work for me. So I can't offer any advice. Well, that's unfortunate that we can't hear Mr. McCully. Yeah, I'll go to Martin and Mr. McCully. I'll allow you some more time to try to sort that. But Martin, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just a quick question. I'm fully in favor of this. He's been there for 10 years, but there was a question that Barb brought up about the storage, obviously inside storage no matter what. Ron, the 3 storage containers, are those containers like the shipping containers that you get off the trucks? The other ones that are around are obviously some kind of feed silos and that kind of stuff. My question is, if they're not permanent, if they are those trucking things, they don't affect the square footage of the actual mixing plant, what's allowed, because do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
They're part of the operation, but not.
Yeah, they
It's not
are
permanent.
shipping containers. They would, as a planner, like, I mean, we're not putting a limitation on the size of the building, just the size of the area that we're rezoning. But I purposely included those storage containers within the area to be rezoned, just so that there's no confusion there.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Madam Deputy Clerk, I'm going to look to you for a little direction here as to how we handle the inability of Mr. McCully to comment. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I'm just sending him the phone-in information. Perhaps he could try that rather than joining through his computer.
Ah,
You could just bear with me for 1 second. I'm just getting
absolutely.
that off now.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure.
I've sent the information and I think he's going to try to do that.
Okay. I'm hoping it's soon.
Perhaps with a thumbs up on the video, we could confirm that Mr. McCully can actually hear us. I don't think so.
All right. Well, I'm going to say that certainly anyone, including Mr. McCully, has the opportunity to submit comments up and until the council makes a decision at Committee of Adjustment. Martin? You're muted, sir. That must be nearly $50 now.
I'm taking it meeting by meeting. I don't want to do an aggregate because that'd just give me a heart attack.
Right. Okay.
With Mr. McCully not being on, I noticed Ken had his hand up before. Maybe he has a procedural thing that could help in what we're supposed to do. But I'm assuming if Ken wants to have a chat about it, though. But
Ken, did you have any comments?
Oh, I was going to try to play tech support, but I don't know if Mr. McCully can even hear us.
Right.
where the deputy mayor asked him to give thumbs up. He didn't seem to respond, so I'd have to believe that he can't hear
Can't hear us.
us.
Okay.
Um,
Am I
yeah,
correct? Am I
yeah.
correct in saying that he still has the ability to submit comments after this meeting?
That is correct.
Yes. So regrettably, oh, Barb, go ahead.
I mean, we all want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity, and if we had been hybrid, he may have attended in person. Through you to the deputy clerk, do you have Mr. McCully's telephone number that you could ring him or perhaps, no?
No, I think,
No.
as I say, go ahead, Holly.
Sorry, my correspondence has been through email, so I did send a message in the Zoom chat and an email to Mr. McCully, so he has the
Right.
information required.
Well, as we say, this is not the end of this file. This is simply the public meeting, and he certainly has the ability to submit comments in the future. So with that said, I'll ask council members one more
Joan?
time.
Yeah, Joan has her hand up.
Go ahead, Joan. Yep.
Thank you, sir. Ollie, I could hardly hear you, but also you have his email, right? So you could just email him and ask him to send us his comment or his questions that he had. Thank you.
That's correct. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Councilors have any further questions? Okay. Not seeing any further. We need to adjourn. Someone move that we adjourn. Monica, seconded by Jason. Anyone opposed? We are adjourned. Thank